All right, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. I realize once again it has been a very long time since I made a video, but evidently I've been busy. I'm here in my new house, and as you can tell from the title of this video, I did purchase my first house before I turned 24. That was one of my goals this year, so I'm very happy I was able to accomplish that. I'm clearly just standing here in my living room with some lo-fi on in the background, which I turned down so I don't get copyrighted. But I want to make this kind of a casual video and just talk to you guys about the process that I went through. The house is definitely not done yet, so unfortunately this is not going to be a full house tour. As you can see, I don't know how much you can see, this is just the living room area. The TV's mounted, a couple other things. I'll show you guys the bedroom, or my bedroom rather, later, just because that's the only thing that is finished in the house so far. But, you know, for those of you guys that own property or have purchased a property, especially an older one that needs a little bit of work, it's definitely much more work than it seems on the surface when you first walk in. Also, I want to point out that it's like 2 or 3 in the morning right now. I, for whatever reason, could not sleep last night, and I figured with the time I have until I have to start work this morning, and my first meeting I think is at 8, have a few hours to kill and put together a video for you guys, so you know, why not? So we'll take it from the top here. So first step in buying a house, you gotta find a realtor, or if you're a realtor yourself, you start looking at properties in the MLS. So I found a realtor pretty much on Yelp. She was super awesome and, you know, is one of the best realtors, I wanna say, here in the Austin surrounding area. Also, if I didn't already mention that, I bought a house in Texas, which is very exciting because I haven't lived in Texas before, and I've so far very much enjoyed it. It's a very positive experience so far. I might have talked about this a little bit in my last video about getting an offer accepted on a house, but given the state of the market, which is still ongoing, I think it's what, October, almost end of October now. During the summer especially, it was pretty wild. So I want to say I started putting in offers around July, August time frame, and I probably put in at least a dozen offers, so 12, 13, 14 offers maybe, before this one got accepted. And a couple of them, I was right there on the brink, you know, kind of in a bidding war with a couple other prospective buyers. And it's pretty disappointing to see that, you know, when you've gone to, you know, take a look at the house and, you know, you've thought about all these different things that you want to do with it, and the finances work out, and the price is just almost where you want it at, but somebody bids a little bit more, some freaking hedge fund comes in with just, you know, a cash offer. Pretty annoying stuff, but, you know, that's just how it is today with buying a house, especially in very saturated markets like the one here in Austin, you know, Seattle, LA, New York, you know, all these big cities and metropolitan areas, where the surrounding areas as well have experienced the, you know, exponential increase in the prices of housing, which I don't think is all bad, because that inflation has continued, you know, to this day, and I expect that the next 5 to 10 years with Tesla coming here, all this tech and everything, it's definitely a good thing, at least in terms of the home's value. So I'm pretty sure I was on a hike at Lake 22. I had no cell service when my realtor was trying to call me, letting me know that I got my offer accepted by the seller, and, you know, we're gonna move forward with closing on the house. So I got the offer accepted. This was towards the end of the month in August. And then after that, I moved out and was staying with my friend for a little bit during closing. So I didn't have to stay, you know, in a hotel in this area, not being able to do anything, not being able to move into the house. Since closing took about a month, so I officially closed on the property the last day of September, so that was September 30th, I believe, and it's now towards the end of October. Still working on getting some of, you know, the furniture shipped, home projects here and there, a little bit of home improvement, and I want to say within the next month, within the next few weeks rather, I should definitely be able to have everything squared away at the house. So generally speaking, it should be good to go. There's always something that crops up or something that needs to be done, but for the most part, within the next few weeks, I think the house should be in a finished condition where I'll be able to either Airbnb or rent out. Actually, let me back up just a little bit. So during the closing process, a lot of documents I had to send in for my loan officer to get the escrow account started for the title company, to get the funds squared away for closing. And there's a couple issues with the appraisal and various other things that I think I talked about in the last video. But closing is kind of just the last few things you need to get squared away for the house, just to make sure that, you know, you have the finances correct. as well as the house is exactly the way you want it, and the inspection comes out and the house is good to go based off of what you expect it to be from the sales price. So fast forward to the end of closing on the last day of September, went to Texas National Title up here in Texas and got it squared away with all the signatures I needed to sign on every single piece of paper. I think it was maybe like 400 or 500 pieces. No, it was less than that, but it seemed like I was there all day just signing things and having to read through actually every disclosure, whether it's a legal document or a flood disclosure, or, something with the house. Once that was done, I finally actually got the keys once the money was funded to the account. And then I came to the property, and honestly kind of anticlimactic because one, I didn't see my realtor that day because she had strep throat. And two, I came to the house and, it's just empty house, just me. It's like you buy a car and you just get in the car and you drive, except now you just get in the house and you live in it. So then this past month, I won't really get into too much detail with the whole situation with the furniture that I'm trying to get for the house, as well as the home projects that I've been doing, but especially this furniture. So as you guys know, the supply chain issues in the market right now, just because of the backlog from COVID and everything just having chip shortages and all this stuff. Some of the furniture that I ordered, has taken like a month to ship, even though I ordered it either during closing or first couple of days after I just moved in. So I had to get some temporary furniture from Target and outfitted this place just like using a college apartment. But things are finally coming together, and I was able to get some pieces, for my room also, which I lied, it's not fully done, but it's mostly done with the furniture. Most of the stuff I got from either IKEA, Wayfair, those are the two big ones, miscellaneous things. Whether it's off of Amazon or some other website or a different, at-home kind of store. I did try to take care of pretty much everything on the inspection that the inspector said needed work. He did a very thorough job. He even checked, the top and the bottom ovens to make sure that they were the same temperature, which I thought was funny. But I pretty much did a lot of this stuff myself just because YouTube exists today, and if it's not something where you're required to have a license to do it or it's not necessary, then why the hell not? Because if you can learn it on YouTube, you might as well go ahead and turn a wrench. I did pay a contractor to replace the flashings as well as the ridge caps and install AC diverter on the roof. I didn't hire an electrician because the panel box is already labeled, so basically cut off the power to the house, replaced all the outlets, replaced some of the older ones with GFCIs, especially near the water sources in the bathroom and the kitchen, as well as all the light switches. I wanted to do most of the touch points in the house just because a lot of those are outdated. There's new flooring, which is nice, which was already here before I moved in, and that would have been a huge project, to say the least. And I'm glad I didn't have to do that. But touch points, cabinets, cabinet handles, and major appliances and that type of thing. Most of them were pretty squared away when I arrived, but some minor things I needed to get changes done on. And some other things that are still arriving, mostly furniture related, that I want to make sure is all here before I show you guys the house, and do a full house tour for you guys. With the lack of filming that I've been doing lately, I did try and record a bunch of stuff on time lapse on my phone, just because I figured it's kind of fun to watch myself do all these projects that kind of take a long time, but on time lapse it seems like a very quick project. So I'll probably play some of these here for you guys while I'm talking about these things, just so you can see. A couple of the projects obviously include cleaning up the stuff in the front yard to make it, the curb appeal a little bit nicer. So I installed a flagpole mount and bracket for the flagpole and then the flag, which I think looks great out front. And I cleaned up the whole garage and took out a ton of stuff, and I'm super surprised that they actually picked up everything in the trash. But I installed both the front floodlight above the garage as well as a timing / automatic motion detected sensor light in the back as well. The patio I think needs a little bit of work. I need to take down the frame for this awning that used to be there, and I'm going to set up these poles on the deck itself just to install the string lights that I want to put up later on. Probably do that once I stain the deck, just because that's a major project that I want to try to get done here in the next couple days. Most of the other things I've time-lapsed so far are little light fixtures, as well as installing some furniture or getting them put together at least that I've gotten so far. But again, I think the house is coming together and I'm really excited about it. Again, first house, definitely not perfect, and I'll be honest, I probably overpaid for this house, but given the market and the times that we're in, I think I'm willing to make that bet that I bought a house in the right area in a nice neighborhood that I'm pretty happy about, and I'm not planning on selling this house anytime soon. So property value appreciation, I think, is what I'm banking on in the long term, whether or not I took a loss, on the value of the property for what it's worth today. So like I promised, I'll show you guys the bedroom that I'm sleeping in right now. And obviously it's a mess in here, so ignore the mess, but that is kind of what happens when you are still working on finishing up a house. So this is the master bedroom, which I'm staying in currently. This is kind of what it looks like right now. Got this whiteboard, which I'm happy about for all the work things and keeping track of what I'm doing. Bed from IKEA, table, lamp. I think everything in here is actually from IKEA. Yep, IKEA. I think maybe one or two of these things from Wayfair. I really like this lamp. They have a floor lamp one as well, which I've been waiting on to come back in stock to order for the living room. I'm a huge fan of it. And you can actually like dim it so it is a little bit darker, a little bit brighter, especially when you turn the ceiling fan light off. Desk, walk-in closet, little air purifier, and the bathroom. Wow, exposure, okay. Yep, pretty standard. I mean, it's not a huge room. Again, this house isn't very big, about 1,200 square foot, but that's what it looks like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't think it was too long, and I will be putting together a little house tour video once everything is done. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did. And feel free to give a comment if you have any questions about the home buying process, I suppose, because it's still very fresh in my memory. Also, feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. I make all kinds of videos about whatever's going on in my life, and I want to try to keep it casual. I don't want to script anything or talk to you guys forever about things that I know nothing about. Most of these things are just what's going on in my life right now and what I happen to know about, which some of this stuff is like test knowledge. After the test, I'm gonna forget it. So same thing with probably the home buying process. Once I've lived in this house for some time, I'm not gonna remember exactly the details of the closing process or the financing and all that stuff. So again, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.